Can diabetics eat bananas? And how would bananas affect your blood sugars? When would be the best time to actually eat a banana? And what are the correlations between this, type 1.5 LADA insulin-dependent diabetic, bananas, and its nutrient base that allows me to be energetic, powerful, and strong all day long? Well, we do know they are a great source of potassium. So what does that do in particular for a diabetic body? For some, bananas may not be an option. So today we will also cover what foods that I eat on a daily basis that are not only richer in potassium than bananas, but just as importantly, they do not raise blood sugars as much or very little. But before we begin, let me welcome all you new resilient diabetics out there. This is where we turn ordinary struggling diabetics into extraordinarily well-controlled diabetics. If you don't know who I am and you're brand new to this channel, my name is Sampat and I welcome you. And I am an insulin-dependent diabetic diagnosed a little over 5 years ago, so the proud owner of a pancreas that's gone on a permanent and lifelong vacation. So not only am I diabetic just like you, where we'll be walking that walk and talking that talk together, but I do also have a University of Bachelor of Science degree in nutrition dietetics, and that does come in very handy in discussing all the intricacies of being a diabetic. The unique information today will only be found here on the Resilient Diabetic. New, life-changing episodes are released weekly. So if you want to learn more and you want to be notified by YouTube that a new video has been released, then the only way to do that is to first, you have to hit that subscribe button, followed by the gray notification bell. Then you have to choose turn on all notifications. And of course, if you liked what you've learned today, you've got to hit that like button for me. Despite being a healthy fruit, bananas are pretty high in carbohydrates. They contain the simple sugar glucose, fructose, and a disaccharide, sucrose. These are the main nutrients that are what's responsible for raising our blood sugars. As diabetics, it is our number one goal to keep blood sugars as level and as stable as possible. For this reason, minimizing foods that cause huge blood sugar spikes is essential. An ideal day for me is when my blood sugars are between 70 milligrams per deciliter to around 120 all day long. 93% of the calories in bananas come from carbohydrates. These carbs, like I had mentioned, are in the form of simple sugars, glucose and fructose, and what's known as starch, which is a complex, longer strand of carbohydrates that actually have to be broken down by the body. And it does come with a good amount of fiber. To put this into context, a medium-sized banana contains about 30 grams of carbohydrates, the same as in 2 slices of bread. The types of carbs in your banana is highly dependent on the ripeness. Green or unripe bananas contain less simple sugars. Those are the ones already broken down and are easily and quickly absorbed. As the banana ages, the yellower it gets, the sweeter it gets, the more the starch gets converted into simple sugars inside that banana. So green bananas contain about 80% starch measured in dry weight. During that ripening process, the starch then ends up being less than 1% when that banana is fully ripe. This means that a fully ripe banana will cause your blood sugars to rise faster than a green or unripe banana. And as I mentioned before, starches are a longer chain version of carbohydrates. The body can't break them down as fast and quickly as the simple sugars. So this leads to a slower, more controlled blood sugar levels with unripe bananas. But ripeness isn't the only factor when it comes to the amount of sugar in your banana. The second component we must factor in is the size of that banana. Diabetes is about knowing two things: the nutrient profile of the food, and just as importantly, the amounts that's going to be consumed or the portions. The bigger the banana, the more carbs you're going to be getting. So a small banana around 6 to 7 inches is around 90 calories, around 23 grams of carbs. An extra large banana about 9 inches is around 135 calories and it jumps to about 35 grams of carbs. This means a larger banana will have a greater effect on your blood sugars. So when we test, we must factor in both variables, size and ripeness. Each will have a significant difference in blood sugar readings. You could be eating a small green banana one day and it will hardly move your blood sugars. And the next, you can consume a large yellow one and you can have readings above 200 milligrams a deciliter within 2 hours. Now you know why. So let's talk about potassium. Potassium is a vital mineral and electrolyte for our bodies. One medium-sized banana contains around 400 milligrams of potassium. This important mineral can be helpful in decreasing a lot of the complications from diabetes, thus managing all the health-related issues. And what are they? It helps in maintaining normal blood pressure. It's actually part of transporting nutrients into the cells. It supports healthy nerve and muscle function. This mineral helps maintain fluid levels in the body and regulates the movements of nutrients and waste products in and out of our body cells. It is the key in prevention of cramps. And if you've experienced these diabetic cramps and you know how incredibly painful they can be, and why do they occur? Well, there's an imbalance between sodium, calcium, magnesium, and potassium in the body. Potassium also keeps the heart beating regularly and can reduce the effects of sodium on blood pressure. So bananas are that very convenient way of getting that required potassium. But after testing, there are many of us whose blood sugars rise beyond that safe point. So what are our options here? 1. Consume the smallest, greenest banana you can find. 2. If you're a type 2, try to consume a banana with some fats and protein. Some low-fat cottage cheese or some Greek yogurt, or with some almond butter or nuts, preferably macadamia or almonds. Or 3rd, consume that banana prior to exercise. And that's what I do actually if my blood sugars are in the low or medium range prior to my weight training. These bananas help keep my glucose levels constant and stable during that workout, and I get all the potassium needed to train at extremely high and intensive levels. What if glucose levels are higher than normal before I train? I actually have to skip that banana. But bananas are not the only potassium heroes we have. There are other foods we can discuss that are part of my diet. The first one, avocados. Packed with really good fats, avocados are also a particularly great source of vitamin K and folate. One half of an avocado, about 100 grams, contains around 487 milligrams of potassium. So if we were to eat 1 cup sliced, that would equate to around 234 calories. Why so high? Because they are high in fat. Which fat? The monounsaturated fats. So there's around 21 grams of fats in there and around 12 grams of carbohydrates. Potatoes are actually really surprisingly high in potassium, nearly 900 milligrams in a medium-sized potato. But the amounts of sugars in potatoes make them simply off limits for many diabetics, including me. Plus, they're not as convenient as that banana. Swiss chard, also known as silver beet or simply chard. Just 1 cup, 178 grams of cooked chard provides 961 milligrams of potassium. That's more than double the potassium in a banana. And why is this a winner? Because the calorie and carbohydrate content are extremely low. It is what's known as a nutrient-dense food. As a green leafy vegetable, it is packed full of other key nutrients and antioxidants that help heal our diabetic bodies. Finally, my go-to everyday food, and I eat this in 3 of my meals every single day. What is that? Spinach. Without a doubt, spinach is one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables around. Spinach provides more potassium per serving than a banana. 1 cup of frozen spinach contains roughly 540 milligrams of potassium. It is also packed with other nutrients. The same serving size contains 366% of your RDI, which is known as your recommended daily intake of vitamin A, 725% for vitamin K, 50% for your folate, and 29% of magnesium. Not to mention, it is also another great source of vitamin C, iron, and calcium. I buy those really large bulk bags of fresh spinach and use that in 2 of my daily chicken salads and then with dinner every day. I go through them like you would not believe. The best part again, like other green leafy vegetables, spinach is incredibly low in calories and carbs, so no adjustments need to be made to my insulin regime. Now you know the importance of potassium. What about supplementation? If you've been following me, and I know you have, then you know I do not consume any supplement of any kind. The potassium that comes from food is far more bioavailable to the body, meaning it is absorbed and utilized at far superior levels to anything that can be found in a bottle. Furthermore, if you are on insulin and you're considering supplementation with potassium, understand that could be a very deadly decision. You must have a doctor's consent when adding high doses of potassium to the body in conjunction to exogenous insulin. I will set up a playlist called What Can Diabetics Eat or Drink with more videos to watch. The first one, Healthy Fats for Diabetics. Is there such a thing as a healthy fat for diabetics? What fats would you want to avoid? Can they help or hurt diabetics towards controlling blood sugars? And the big question, which fats in particular can cause insulin resistance? There will be more in that series for you to watch, learn, and enjoy. If you're on a desktop or laptop, use your mouse to click that box. If you're on a mobile device, tap that with your fingers. So, have a great and productive day, and we'll see you soon with another new episode, which I've said I'll release weekly. Bye for now.